A strong feature over the past week for South Africa has been economic doom and gloom. And I literally have 5 articles open at the moment that speak to this. And I just want to briefly talk about them and then tell you what I think about the situation, what you can do as an individual. And let's start off with the first one where it says that Gordon Guana, our finance minister, wants South Africa to de-link from the West. Now, he said this at the World Economic Forum, and many interesting things were said at the World Economic Forum 2024. It's almost as if they allowed people to speak. That will bring trust back to the organization. And this is something that most people won't think about, that it was a deliberate tactic by them for people to actually take interest in what he said there. South Africa's Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana, has called on emerging economies to reshape their trade patterns, urging for a de-link from economic dependence on the West. This comes as BRICS nations eye a stronger foothold in the global economy. Now, a lot of people will think this is going to cause big problems with regards to trade, how people see the South African economy on the world stage, and that it is suicide to de-link from the West. And I certainly think to group yourself with any specific grouping is just suicide. Finances, you cannot just link to any specific place. In open trade, people should be able to trade wherever they see fit and live with the consequences. The next one says, how does South African economic climate look in 2024? From mounting debt to influence of elections, we look into our crystal ball to forecast the South Africa economic climate for 2024. And I'll give you a link to all 5 of these articles in the description below the video, as well as in the first comment. So do go and look at them. There's some interesting graphs that you should take note of. And it speaks here about the South African economic climate in 2024. And it seems rather doomy and gloomy. And then there's another one, tax hike warning for 2024, where our finance minister said that this is on the table to actually hike taxes, and they're looking at many ways of taxing us more, including a wealth tax, VAT, many other things. And a lot of people will say increase in VAT is the best way to actually get tax. I say the best way to decrease tax is to make government smaller. And then the World Economic Forum lays bare South Africa's economic trouble. So they have gone and put a graph together, and you should actually have a look at this, where it shows what our economy is actually doing. And it's bad. It's not a good picture. And 3 years ago, I told people they need to start preparing for this time. Those that were willing to listen. Those of you that are only listening now, do what you can. And the last article that you should go and read is from Davie Rood, advice for anyone choosing to stay in South Africa. Now that in itself sounds doomy and gloomy. Those that choose to stay. Now many people will say, well, I don't have a choice. I can go nowhere else. This is where I need to be. And the picture for this article is a big exit sign, a red one. And it says, renowned economist Davie Rood said, there is no reason to leave South Africa, but those staying should make the right choices and protect their wealth. He says in this article that you should pay as little tax as possible, but do pay your tax within the law. He says he doesn't advise people to break the law, but find every loophole you can to pay as little tax as possible, because he says once we get a new government, and he obviously believes that we will in future, you need tax-paying citizens, and when citizens start a tax revolt, it's very difficult to get that new government off the ground again. Well, I would beg to differ with that, and this is where how I feel come in. To me, an economy is the people, what they are willing to do, the work they are willing to do. If everyone was willing to work for no money, and we just use the resources of the country to build something, and we can overcome the mindset of ultra-capitalism, where everyone wants to profit off the next person, we can build whatever we want. Now, it's not that straightforward, because when you trade with other countries, you need some form of currency to trade in. So you can't just completely run away from the global financial system. You can try and influence that financial system and within your country. If people are willing to work and not just receive grants, you can achieve a lot. And currently in our country, the current ruling party, the African National Congress, needs people to need grants for votes. It is a guaranteed vote for the ruling party. And how many people are receiving grants at this stage? It is 17 million people. Enough votes for them to keep the majority. But when these grant monies dry up, what do they do then? What are they going to do for these people? They will be dumped outright and they will be treated as pariahs. And they might go back to their old ways. Because in the end, when a freedom fighter or a so-called freedom fighter becomes the government, it never ends well. Because you don't know how to run an economy. Thanks so much for watching this video. And just remember that as long as there are people willing to work, that economy cannot collapse. We are the economy. So when people show you all this doom and gloom, we can build that up again. Will it be very difficult, especially if you're not prepared? Absolutely. It could be the worst time that you've ever gone through. But as long as you can survive and stay alive, we can build something very special here in South Africa, while the other countries in the world are taking each other apart. Thanks so much for watching. Till the next video.